Welcome to Geek Out Virtual Con, the replay of our special 2-day live streaming event, April 11th through 12th, 2020. In our first hour, our hosts are waking up with our listeners, and that's followed by our small business and marketing panel with special guests, Dennis H. Lewis of Greenlight Digital, Chuck Fresh of Indie Originals, Bocas is in the house with Jake Estrada, and Steve Kurtzky of The Underpresence.
And we're live.
Okay, this broadcast is live.
Hey, everybody.
Did you say broadcast?
How we doing?
Listen, you're supposed to drink coffee this morning. There's not supposed to be schnapps in the coffee as you're drinking it, Leo.
Hey, wait. Nobody said nothing about that now.
No, I know.
That's a deal breaker. I'm so out of here.
We got to get through the day.
Okay, are we just doing audio? Because I don't see no video whatsoever.
No, we've got a live stream. We're live right now. We've got an overlay here to let people know that this is Geek Out Virtual Con, April 11th through 12th. This is our 2-day event. Somebody's got their mic on or their...
Hey, wait. Nobody.
Yeah, you got your speakers on.
Who's got their speakers
We
on?
got some reverbing going on at this moment.
Somebody's listening to it.
Okay,
I think that's Leo because I don't see earbuds in. All right.
Leo, do you have speakers?
yeah, I got speakers.
Okay, that's where the reverberation's coming from. Do you have a headset by any chance?
Oh, there you go. I can see it. Hold on.
Great, 10 a.m. and we're waking people up this way on
I know.
reverb.
I'm just putting him on mute. I'm putting him on mute for a second. We're going to send him a quick message to put some earbuds in because we're hearing his speakers.
I think he said
No, just
So,
leave it on. Leave it on. Keep talking,
That's
Leo.
not nice.
Keep talking, Leo.
I'm talking to Leo. Leo, put some earbuds in because we can hear your
No, this is
speakers.
perfectly.
So,
It's the best convention ever. Beautiful.
well, welcome to Geek Out Virtual Con, guys. We are just getting our coffee. We're just waking up, and this is the first time that the group is kind of together, and we are, kind of working out some of the kinks here. So we expect that there are going to be some technical difficulties. And I know Leo's trying to talk and stuff. Somebody tell him, get some earbuds in.
Yeah, you're still echoing, Leo. If we unmute you, you're echoing. We're getting the feedback from your speakers, your external speakers.
I'm going to send him a message. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and I'm going to message him. You go ahead and just introduce Geek Out Virtual Con, what we can expect and stuff like that. I'll be right back.
Good deal. All right, well, guys, I'm Matthew, if I can say my own name. Matthew with Geek Insider, of course, and with me is Chris.
No. We have to go first with what you said. So it's Matthew.
Matthew. Now I'm going to be known by that. And we got Christian, the traveling TARDIS.
Yes, sir.
And we got Leo Nacito, which he's working out some technical difficulties. As Meredith said, guys, this is kind of the pre-show. Our first guest is up at the top of the hour. But we wanted to get together, kick this thing off, introduce everybody. Oh, man, he's already breaking out the toys.
Stay home, be safe, and stay home. This is from the Intergalactic Dalek. Please stay home. We do not want the coronavirus or whatever they want to call it this week on YouTube. Stay home. Stay home.
You almost sound like Robbie there. But guys, we got a lot of stuff planned. If you haven't checked out the schedule yet, be sure to check out.
Look at Leo's face. It is amazing. I'm sorry. I just saw Leo's like, sorry, go ahead. We'll keep going.
Wait, is he not echoing? No, he's
still echoing. I can see the earbuds going on there.
But he was trying to look back to see what that voice was, I think. He's trying to figure that out.
It's yours, dude. Stop it.
Oh, he's getting the earphones out. Yeah, guys, check out geekoutvc.com. Of course, if you hadn't already done so, there is a schedule on there, a schedule of the guests for the day. There's not a schedule of door prizes, though. And remember, you got to be present to win. And so...
Thank you, David. Thanks, David.
All right, guys.
There we go. He's back.
You're still bald. Things have not changed.
Well, you know, he could have glued a wig to the headphones there, and he just, when he put the headphones on, he could have a full set of head of hair.
All right, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
Okay, I had to confiscate this from a
From somebody playing a game.
Neighbor?
All right.
You robbed a child. Leo robbed a child.
Leo's practicing social distancing as he's grabbing the headset off the individual who's trying to play a video game and now doing thanks, Leo.
It was muted, so we didn't get to hear the, no Fortnite for you. He took the headset. Well, anyway, guys, now that we've got everyone back on camera and back on mic, you are joining us for the first and not the last Geek Out Virtual Con.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, man, we are so excited, guys. This has been a lot of work getting this together. I know Meredith is ready for Mondays to where she can I finally let her sleep. But I got news for her. I got a whole nother project for her after that. So no. See your face.
No peace for the wicked.
That's when we start planning for the next one, right, Meredith? Chris said, "What?
You're hearing about someone robbing children?" Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes,
you see that headset on Leo's head? He's the one. He stole the headset off a child in his household. So there's going to be some more going on over there.
If you don't mind me interjecting, folks,
he's going to be photobombing the event.
I want my headset back. And folks, right now, if you get a chance, please go ahead and share the link, share everything, tell everybody to get on board. This is going to be a fun weekend on Virtual Con, sponsored by Geek Out and everybody that you see here. And we're just going to have a great time. This is going to be, I've never had a Virtual Con. So for a better term, I am no longer a virgin. Leo made that happen with his headset. So just let everybody know that they can participate. Hey, Jason is here too. Yeah. Oh, Jason's here? Okay. Well, hello, Jason, and everybody else who's joining us. So please, there we go.
Not Jason.
There we go, Jason.
This is not Jason.
Well,
he's very depressed about that.
You're Jason now. Adam claimed that
Do my best. I'll do my best to be a Jason. Do I have to kill everyone in the room?
Oh, not Voorhees. Man, speaking of Voorhees, my wife and mother-in-law came home yesterday from the store. They weren't supposed to be going to the store, but they both walk in with brand new machetes. Look what we got. And these are, real machetes. And I was like, Jesus, I thought they'd went to a con or something without me. I mean, these were full on Jason Voorhees machetes. And now I'm kind of a little scared to sleep. Hey, Dina. Oh, there's
that is Mrs. Dr. Freedom. Give a shout out to Dr. Freedom. How do I join this? Do I need to be somebody? Chris, you are somebody.
Yes.
You are somebody, okay? We've already acknowledged this. It's just that we only have enough room in the pool before everybody starts getting wet. That made no sense. Okay, so
Whatever.
I'm in the jacuzzi. Unfortunately, is full, and we've spent some time together trying to put this together. So we're part of the madness now. But you're part of it. Yeah. Hey, Steven, what's up there? But Chris, you're part of it. I mean, you keep texting, you keep telling people and forwarding this to people, and let them know that they can join in. Please do, so that we can have a virtual con going on over there. This is kind of fun right now.
And guys,
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of hanging out, guys. And I'm going to give it to Matt so he can do some intros and all that stuff. And then it'll be mayhem.
Then it'll be mayhem. I think it's going to be a bit of mayhem for a little while here.
It's already been mayhem.
Yeah, started
chaos
with Leo's echo that got us all nice and woke up this morning, and then we're hearing the child crying softly in the background from his
Killing it softly with his headset.
But guys, we have a full schedule today. Starting here in about 50 minutes, the guests are going to start coming in, and then it's going to be pretty much back to back all day. With us right now, everybody, why don't you introduce yourselves? Just kind of start up. Well, I was going to say start with Christian, but he's pill popping. So we'll start. Leo, tell everybody who you are and where you're with.
Hello, everybody. I am Leo.
Don't do that.
Of Florida Geek Scene. I'm a cosplay photographer for all conventions in the state of Florida. You know, if you cosplay in Florida, you probably more than likely know who I am because I've taken a picture of you. And if you do.
With or without your permission.
Yes. Oh, come on now. I have manners. I ask first, and then conventions, large and small, and then I also do cosplayer interviews for the Florida Geek Scene. I contribute my photographs to the Florida Geek Scene and other outlets, like Getty Images and Shutterstock. And then I have a Facebook page called Nocedo Photo, where I post up all my convention photos right then and there. So there you go. Who's next?
Fantastic. Let's go with Christian since he's done popping his medication.
Yeah. Well, what was that? Valium or Percocet?
Allergy pills that I got from Costco. So.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really, I'm doing the eye watering thing. Can't touch your face, can't touch your eyes. So, I like doing that. So I'd probably be the person who spreads the virus a little bit more and keeps everybody indoors for a month. Yeah, my name is Christian Basel, and I run the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show as well as the Facebook page. Been out conventions. For about 7 years doing panels and such like that. And unfortunately, as funny as it sounds, I don't have the traveling TARDIS with me in hand. It's been about a couple months. My friend Melanie Dean took a trip to the UK to take the TARDIS boy and to take pictures, and that's when everything went down. So she has the TARDIS sitting in a box at home, untraveling, and I want my son back. So what was it Mel Gibson says? Give me back my son. So he's being protected, and we're having to do some changes. I've had to implement now with the traveling TARDIS when people take pictures. I've actually got a whole thing of sanitizer, a whole thing of wipes just for the TARDIS alone. It'll be the cleanest object at any convention ever. And the radio show, if you want to catch it, we do weekly shows. In fact, we are going to be recording an interview, which I have to leave around noonish. We have a special guest going on, and we'll announce it later once we've done the recording. But we interview guests, we do reviews of the current series, and we talk about Big Finish. Everything Doctor Who-ish under the sun we talk about. And we do it on a weekly basis, iHeartRadio, KryptonRadio.com. Anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, you could probably find us and just subscribe to us and download. And you can check us on our Facebook page, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS Radio Show.
Very cool.
All right.
Rob.
I am the underground indie advocating devil, and I came here to panel today and interview some comic book creators and talk about the awesome things that they do create. I run indieadvocates.com, hence the advocating, and now the Underground Advocate as well for underground comics. So I'm doing as much as I can to help comics continue to rise up, even though Diamond has gone away temporarily. Marvel, DC all put their pens down. Indie Comics has not. We're still creating, and we're still entertaining. That's why I'm here.
Good deal. Well, we're glad you're here. That's one thing that gets me. I mean, you would think that the comic book industry would be one of the first ones to shift and start having more of the crews working from home so that we can keep this going. I mean, the small mom and pop shops, they need the new lines of comics. The readers, we need new material to read. And so I would really think that those guys would be some of the first to spin and say, okay, we're going to send you your panels and just kind of rock it that way virtually. I mean, heck, these days, even animated shows are done. I mean, everybody does their voiceovers from home. Nobody meets up in studio anymore. So hopefully if this continues on too much longer, that we will see a shift toward more of our mainstream comics coming back online, because this is just going to hurt. It's just going to domino and keep hurting more and more folks, including us at this end, the consumer. No new Batman comics, no new X-Men. Meredith.
Don't do anything. That's just it. It's you can still get Todd McFarlane's on Kickstarter giving you guys an action figure that's awesome. He's already made $1 million. So Kickstarter crowdfunding still going strong. So it's proving that you can still have a fan base during this this awkward great pause time that we're in. It's just you have to put the effort in. And Marvel and DC just aren't geared up for this because of Diamond. Diamond kind of screwed them up because they were always dependent on Diamond. And this is going to teach them, like any other business, when you get too comfortable, one thing can ruin it. And we're seeing that with a lot of these businesses. But look at Target, look at Walmart. Look at even the grocery stores. They've all adapted pretty quickly, put up shields in front of the cashiers, figured it out, kept going. How come the comic book industry couldn't do that? How come TV and I mean, wrestling, WWE has figured out how to continuously give you a program now. And you got to kind of wonder, did everyone shut down production? Was that really the right thing to do? Because they are extending a pause. And I know everyone will say, well, you have to keep yourself safe. Most of these movies are shot on location, which are far away from most people. Usually it's a closed set. Usually everyone lives on set. Why did they all stop filming? That's going to be a question we're going to ask ourselves in 4 months when there's no new movies, when there's nothing being made and all the television is destroyed for the year. Basically, a lot of the shows are about to announce that they're done with whatever they filmed will be it. Kind of like what we did the year of the writer's strike. And I know we all tried to react, but did we react the right way? Did people slow down and go, well, how can we continue to keep this going in a safe way? I think the rumors are WWE just sequestered their people and had them start living at the convention at where they film. All right, this is your new hotel. We're now going to film and live here. So everyone just be happy in your home. And now they're basically hostages, but there's still a product coming out every week. McMahon goes, go out there now and perform, monkey. But we're entertained. We are entertained, and it's going to keep going. And they're going to be one of the few things that we can say kept going through this. And there's no government trying to shut them down because they get it. And let's be honest, it's horrible. You should all stay inside. I can't wait for the antigen test. I can't wait for the vaccination. That's all awesome. But we also have to think long term. This is going to end. I'm a teacher now. I didn't want to be a teacher, but I am missing my paycheck from Florida. I haven't gotten my teacher's paycheck. But by the end of this, I will be, what is the term when they're locked in for life? What do they call that? They're
tenured.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a senior teacher. So I'm going to hit the road and start just teaching kids randomly at comms. I'm going to be like, I am a teacher. I think I dropped this phone.
I have a question for you, and I just wanted your take on this. If you had the Thanos glove on right now and could finger snap it, where do you think you would change the dynamic of things that have taken place? Where would you say, this is the moment you should have done this instead of doing this?
Years ago, when humanity started being selfish. If you take away selfishness, this would have never come in. Think about it. China would have cut its borders off. We would have looked at the greater mass as opposed to the few. Thanos maybe was right. Maybe there are just too many people in the world who are selfish.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, maybe he had a point. Not half the population, but like just the part that didn't protect its people. throughout the world, there could have been a better reaction. We could have closed our borders off to China. Think about it. We all sat there and made jokes about what was going on instead of preparing. And that became painfully clear when it got out of China. None of us were ready. And that's where we are now. None of us are ready. And I guarantee you this will never happen again. The next time anything starts, that country's getting cut off. Someone will sneeze in America and we'll get cut off for a month. Nope. We're not trusting it. You guys have that American flu, and it's just true, and maybe they'll finally take the flu serious. Maybe we'll finally start seeing better cures for the flu. And maybe we shouldn't shake hands. Maybe shaking hands is a bad thing. Maybe shaking hands, because how many of you gone to cons and gotten horribly sick and not known where you got it from? I've gotten con crud multiple times. And I'm happy not to shake.
I did that when I was when I went to Texas the one time, and it was just because of the humidity and everything. There was just mold and everything on all the walls, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I wanted to demand another room because I was like, "Well, they didn't clean it," and they were like, "No, that's just the way it is. It's Texas." And it was like, "All right."
It's part of the decor.
And I went home. It was terrible. I was so sick. But we've got 2 people in the queue. I'm going to bring them in to do a real quick introduction because we are launching this at 10:30 with we've got a panel with small business and marketing. But Steve's in here, and I think maybe he's in a different time zone because he's here an hour early. We're just going to pop him in real quick. And, as we have different seats and things like that, our guests are going to be coming in. Our hosts are going to be coming in. We're going to be kind of going back and forth with all of us so that none of us are here sitting on our chairs for 16 hours or something crazy like that. So let's pop in Dennis. He's going to be our next guest, and I'm going to pop in. Hey, Dennis, we're going to be right with you. Hold on a second.
Thanks,
Popping
Meredith.
in, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
I think you're like an hour early.
Well, whoops.
Hey, we
Roger
love
that.
the enthusiasm.
Yeah. We love the enthusiasm. Steve, the underpresent starts at 11. Are you in a different time zone?
Yes, it's currently 10:30 a.m. where I'm at.
Oh, okay. So you're at the same time zone. You are actually, we start at 11 with you guys.
Okay.
But I'm actually waiting for Chuck if he's here because we've got a panel for small business and marketing that we've got Dennis here for, and basically, okay. Well, while we're all here, we've got enough seats so that you can stay here, stay in the conversation, and then if somebody else pops in, we're going to kick one of us hosts out. Dennis, you want to just introduce yourself and let us know what you do?
Hey, Meredith, how are you doing? Hey, Matt, I see you there.
Hey.
You're looking great. I just want to say hi. Hey.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for having me on. It's exciting. And I love the funky background you guys got going there. You'll have to tell me the secret to that. That's pretty cool. So introduce myself. I'm Dennis Lewis. I am a storyteller. I am a marketer. I just love to help entrepreneurs, and I'm really excited about being able to talk with your audience today and talk about, hey, this is tough, it's scary, we're all worried, but there's another side to this, and there is a lot of opportunity right now as well. So it's all a question of how you focus what you're doing, and you really kind of think about taking the right steps to make this as easy as possible, even inside the difficulties that we're all facing. But I can just keep on rambling if you guys want. That's cool too. I could tell jokes, or I don't know. I'm not great at jokes, but yeah, we could take a song.
I like multitasking.
We could.
Now,
Well, one of the things about marketing, Dennis, is that we work together, and you do great things as far as like email marketing, social media and things like that. That's so important for people, especially independents, especially creative people who have a hard time self-promoting themselves, right? So,
Yeah, well,
I mean, what are some things that you recommend that people do in order to promote themselves and get over that hump of saying, "Oh, I'm not that person. I don't want to be that salesperson," because you're very personable.
well, think about it the other way around. Okay, especially for content creators. You guys, you're creating awesome stuff, and the world needs what you're creating. I mean, think about it right now. There are gazillions of people bored out of their heads, sitting at home staring at screens right now. There is no better time to be a content creator than right now. And if you don't sell what you're doing, if you don't promote yourself, you're doing a disservice to those people. They're going to sit around and be bored. They're not going to. They're going to be pulling their hair out as their kids scream and jump around behind their Zoom calls. They need you right now. So you're doing a service by helping people find you, by actually getting the word out. And that's true for any business. But content creators, I think you have to think about yourself as an entrepreneur. You have to think about that what you do is good for your audience. And if it's good for your audience and you don't push it out there, then you're not doing them a service. You're leaving them to stare off into blank space, being bored off their asses when they could be consuming that wonderful thing that you do. So I don't think there's absolutely anything sleazy about marketing. It is doing your audience a favor.
Very cool. And that's a great way to look at it, Dennis. Like she was saying, especially a lot of folks that are new into trying to market themselves, they are nervous about approaching it. They feel like they don't want to encroach into areas where they may not feel that they're a fit, or they're just not that confident about not so much their art, but just about their marketing skills. Where does someone start with? What's the first step on marketing yourself?
Tune in to find out more after this 30-second break.
Hey guys, Matthew here with geekinsider.com, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, mobileedge.com. If you're a gamer and looking for some gear to protect your gaming gear, Mobile Edge has gaming backpacks, they've got totes, they've got all kinds of carrying cases and tech for today's mobile lifestyle. Protect your tech with Mobile Edge. Look sharp, travel smart, Mobile Edge. Bring it on. Start with, what's the first step on marketing yourself?
So the first step is, okay, I'm going to give you two first steps. One is going to be eminently practical, okay? And I'm going to leave that one the second one. But the first step, the most important step, is you have to be willing to say no to people. You have to push away the audience that you don't want. Okay, it is so important. Anybody, and especially a creator, you don't want to have everybody consuming your content. You want the right people to be consuming your content. And the only way you can attract them is by repulsing the rest. You have to be ruthless about it. Don't try to be Marvel, okay? Because you're trying, or Disney. You're not going to do that, okay? Unless you're, it's just not likely to happen, okay? And we can all look at that and see examples of where they've all on their faces trying to satisfy everybody when that's not their audience. So if you're a creator, really focus on attracting the right audience, the ones that you really care about, the ones that are really going to love what you do, and piss off the rest. That's okay. And don't be bashful.
Beat them.
Bashful marketing sucks, okay? It doesn't work, and especially on a small scale. You cannot be bashful and shy. And now for the second part, the eminently practical thing that you must do. If you don't do anything else, build an email list, okay? Build an email list and mail the hell out of it. Every day, 5 times a day if you want. If you've got something fun to say. Don't worry about people leaving. Don't worry about unsubscribers. It doesn't matter. Those are the people you don't want. So be fun, be engaging, make what you have to say really appeal to that core audience you want to reach, and then let the rest go. And don't worry about it. And just, if you only do one thing, build the best email list you can possibly build. Hey, and I think I ended up here kicking everybody up. I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Everybody's
You're king of the universe.
Yeah, that's right. I thought, okay, you're back. I thought, man, this is my show now. This is the Dennis show now.
We were all going to leave one by one quietly.
It was that boring, man.
No,
it was that boring.
No.
Dennis is the one holding it. But we have Terry Cliver here who says, you can't be all things to everyone, and that's true. And I think the important thing about marketing is that you have to know who your audience is. And maybe, Dennis, first of all, just tell us where we can find you. And then also, if you can address that, the thing about being all things to everyone. I personally think it's impossible. You can't, but I'm going to give that back to you, and you're going to get the big screen again.
Oh,
we'll just heckle in the background.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was talking about when you said you can't be everything to everyone, and you're not going to be. It's always going to be a personal conversation that you're having with your audience. You've got to think about what you have to say as being inside their head, having a conversation with them. And you want to make them laugh, you want to make them cry, you want to make them get angry, you want to make them happy, and all at the same time. And you want to make them really feel who you are. Okay, if you fall into somebody's hands and a marketer and they say, oh, you've got to be building a brand, man, show them the door. Okay, you are not Nike, you're not Coca-Cola, you're not building a brand, you're building a relationship. You're building a relationship with an intimate relationship with that core audience. And that means that you're not going to build a relationship with the rest. I could tell you really a story, a real true story about this. And I think this is a great place to tell this story. I was once on Good Morning America. I was on the New York Times. I got trashed literally in prime time by Bill O'Reilly on his show for a project I was running. We generated in this project $7 million worth of free publicity practically overnight. And the reason is we had a product that was truly spectacular. It was truly revolutionary, and it was very controversial. So I was working at the time for a really small Spanish doll manufacturer. They made dolls, and they've been making dolls for 100 years. And they made the world's first breastfeeding doll. And it was a very serious project, and it was, child pedagogues, and it was thoughtfully done. It was really built around the idea that why do baby dolls come with plastic bottles when that isn't the best way to feed a baby? And so the doll came with a little halter top, and when you put the doll up to the halter top, it had flowers on it, and the doll would suckle, and then you could burp it, and it was really cute, and it was a very unique project, and we knew from the very beginning that we had an audience that was going to love that project, and we had an audience that was going to hate it. Okay, and so we weren't timid. We went out there and we stuck it to them, and we got trashed. It was amazing. I was on radio stations all over the country. I was literally on I was on CNN, I was on Fox, I was on just you name it. I was there with this project, and we rode an amazing wave. And then the next year we rode the same wave again, and we sold every doll they could manufacture. Okay, but the reason behind it was because we knew who our audience was. We knew there was a core audience of people that believed in what we were doing, and what we were doing is right. Okay, and we also knew that there were a whole bunch of people that were going to say, oh, this is outrageous, it's sexual, it's all these, it's pedophiles, it's, you know, they literally, they were just tearing their garments and pulling their hair and saying all sorts of nasty stuff. When at the time we said, well, look, a Bratz doll is much more sexual than this baby doll. This is a beautiful little baby doll. There was, you know, there were various versions. There was a, you know, African American. There was an Asian baby doll. There was, you know, it was really well done. And the reason I'm telling this story is because it's a really good example of how to do marketing that really connects with a core audience. We didn't care that we were pissing off a whole bunch of people that thought it was terrible, because we knew the people that wanted this product were going to come to us and we're going to rally around it and they were going to buy. And that's what happened. So from a small business, a creator point of view, it's really important that you take that attitude. You can't be, I mean, if you've got to sit there with a AK-47 in your lap because that's who you are, you know, do it. I mean, I would never do that. That's not who I am. I'm the guy with the funky wallpaper. But that being said, you know, don't be afraid of who you are and what you have to say. And if you are authentic and you really connect with that audience, you're gold. It'll work. You will, you know, people will follow you and they will buy your products and they'll be happy with what you have to offer. That's my little.
I'm gonna bring Chuck in. Chuck Fresh from Indie Originals and the Underpresents. He's here, and he also is a marketing guru. Fresh, still fresh.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here. Proud to be among such amazing talent right here, man. Unbelievable.
Well, we're glad to have you,
Jake, right?
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah,
welcome.
I thought you were talking.
Are you in the Millennial Falcon? Are you in the Millennial Falcon?
Yeah, I'm up in space because that COVID shit's fucking everything. I'm not going anywhere near Earth right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you gotta go where you need to go. You know what I'm talking about?
The outer rings of Saturn, right?
Wherever, man. There's crap up here too, but nothing like what you guys are dealing with. So, yeah, I was just listening to Dennis. I came in the mid, and I thought you were talking about a sex doll for a minute, and I was really interested because I have like 10 of them here. You know.
I actually remember that doll, Dennis, and I remember the marketing on that thing. And yeah, I remember the controversy on that.
Is it like a full woman, like a mom type size thing, or?
No. It was a little baby doll, Yeah,
oh,
it was a
wow.
baby. Yeah, it was for just like any kind of a baby doll.
Wow.
And the
little girl.
That went sideways fast.
Yeah, man. I came in the middle. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
that was precisely but that's fine. That was it. You know, that there were people that were taking it the wrong way and they were attacking us, and we rode that way, and we let them do it. That was every time they would troll us, we would get more orders in, we would get more publicity, we would get. So that is, you know, and not every product you can do
well,
the same way.
Jake and I, with this whole Indie Originals thing, we have to attack it because, you know what, as we've seen in the media, even in politics, everyone's getting dirty now. You can't fight nicely anymore because no one listens to you. So Jake and I were like, you know, we started off this Indie Originals thing. We were like real quiet, real kind of laid back and almost shy and very like, I don't want to say almost like Christian, you know what I mean?
Violent.
We were afraid of upsetting anybody. And the more we learned, people were ignoring us, and we started to change it subtly, you know, and we came out a little more with an angry voice and a little more in your face. And man, you're absolutely right. You really got to get their attentions. And sometimes you just have to flip the whole campaign negative just to wake people up. And it's unfortunate, but these are the times we live in now. That's where we're going now. Flip the whole thing upside down, and we're going completely negative. And I hate that. It goes against everything I believe in, but it's working.
Well, but you can do the other way around as well. If everybody is, you know, if your market is really angry, then you can be the voice of calm and stand out.
We try.
So it's you don't necessarily have to be, you know, but you can't be insipid. Okay, there's nothing worse than being insipid and being, you know, who cares?
There's a way.
If you're gonna be boring and you know and calm and you know that's just probably not going to get you stand out enough in today's market to get you noticed.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Jake walks around. Jake's 8 feet tall, 11 feet tall.
I am.
He walks around with guns.
I mean, that's a top hat you're wearing, right? That hat is literally half a yard high, right?
No, that's his head.
Yeah, that's probably.
Now he's got the hat. Okay, now the hat's back on.
But yeah, he gets in trouble once in a while walking around with guns. But I'll tell you what, it gets people's attention. And this guy, he's got more organic followers than anybody I've ever met in my life.
That's online, right?
What's
Stalkers.
He does have stalkers coming to his house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I have stalkers at my house too.
No, I know.
He put a picture of toilet paper on social media, and everybody lined up at his house. Thought he was giving.
All the guys came up. They're like, "Yo, man, I need a TP." I'm like, "Yo, that's $1,000 a roll."
Yeah.
I got this hammer here. You see the blood right there?
You got to do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah, you got to kill these guys, man.
So indie marketers, I don't know if you guys are having the same problem. I'll just jump in here. Indie marketers are the worst fucking marketers in the world.
Yes, they are.
You know what I mean? No, I'm talking about there's two frame. I mean, the first thing we need to do, and maybe you guys can help with this too. This is our main campaign right now. Like the major labels have hijacked the term indie.
They definitely have.
You know what I mean? So like these indie movies have budgets of $700,000. That's not an indie movie.
They're not indie films.
Right, they're released on an indie label, which is a sub-label of a major label, and they're just hijacking this indie thing. So now we have all this fucking confusion, this mass confusion between these people who are saying they're indies but aren't really. They're really major label acts with the indie moniker, and us real indies who are trying to break in, and they're ignoring us and paying attention to them, and that's not fair. And so we're trying to re-lasso that indie term back, and it's the hardest.
Stealing it back.
The hardest thing I've ever done is we're pretty much being ignored or was trying to do that. And that's why we're going to need to build, you really have to spend a crap ton of money to get people's attention to really try to do that. And I think we're fighting an impossible battle, but I'm hoping somebody picks up on it. You know, and the other thing too is the real indie people are terrible on social media. Most of our marketing, you guys probably agree, most of your marketing is all on social media now, right? You say most of us are on social media. That's where the majority of our dollars are going. If you're spending anything,
that's how we roll. Yeah,
it almost has to because you've been cut out of the big mass media. So
yeah,
but the algorithms that all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, it's based on. And I'm trying to figure this out. And every time I come close to figuring out, they change the thing on me. But it's based on the number of followers you have. And then it's based on the engagement of the post that you put out there. And they check the number of followers versus your engagement. And if that's a low ratio, they're not going to show your post to a lot of people. So a lot of these people, a lot of these people.
To be honest, that's what they want you to think. It's mostly a function of how much money you spend.
It's part of it too, but the organic stuff.
Especially, there is no organic on Facebook anymore. There is no organic on Instagram. There is no organic on.
That's not true, Dennis. I disagree with you strongly. I think
it is.
I get a lot of engagements on some of my posts, the ones that artificially inflate my engagement.
We
artificially inflate our engagement. I actually opened a company that sells engagement. It's gotten that bad now. I have a secret company. I can't tell you what the name of it is. It's all cash. We do file a tax return. We are legit that way, but it's a company that sells engagement because nobody else does it. These indie marketers are terrible. I mean, even the comic book people, the music people are the worst.
Yeah. The music people are the worst.
Yeah, you got to support each other. I mean, all of us have to support each other. We should be commenting, liking, and sharing each other's posts. And that raises up the algorithm, and then they show your post to more people, and that's basically free marketing. But it's based on the algorithm. But you're right, Dennis. I mean, you have to spend a lot of money if you want mass eyes. There's no other way around that.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean, it used to be much easier to get organic traffic, just like it used to be easier to get organic search traffic.
Right.
You know, until the whole SEO industry, you know, blossomed to game it, and now you kind of just it's almost, you know, it's almost worthless for smaller companies to even try right now, especially in big markets.
You're right. Yeah. What have you guys found success with?
We'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Jake Estrada from Indie Originals. This year, Indie Originals 2020, we've added another category, and that's comic books, independent comic book creators. That's right, guys. Here we are. We're inside a comic book shop. And look at all these beautiful comic books. I want to tell you, indie comics are the backbone of Marvel and DC, because Marvel and DC cherry picks certain creators and they make these guys superstars. So that's why we added comic books. But I'm a comic book guy as well. I'm the creator of Bocas, soon to be released feature film. And we also have Terrence Baker as a judge, along with Nino Mazzarina, who does the Unbelievable Laundry Detergent Man, along with his little comic strip that he does for the Chicago Tribune. You need to sign up. You can go to www.indieoriginals.com and sign up for the Indie Originals comic book contest. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Peace out.
Well, on top of what you just said there, Chuck, it's when I started the Traveling TARDIS 7 years ago, and we did. Oh, hi! I look like Matthew. There we go.
Sexy beast, you.
Put Matthew back. It was much more
clones.
Yeah. When Chuck, when I started the Traveling TARDIS 7 years ago, I put out a picture. I'm not kidding you. I would have like 1,000 likes on the picture and 500 new people join up. One picture, just one. Simply easy. And you've seen the pictures. I mean, they're kind of entertaining, and people would jump up.
Some of the pictures are sexy, man.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And then later on, like today, if I put out one picture, maybe 20 likes and maybe one new subscriber. But just like, okay, there's a difference. And I know Facebook is trying to make money, and it's a catch-22. You feed the beast so that you can be seen, or you're
working harder now.
You're working harder, not smarter. But the problem is the game's rigged, so you can't work smarter unless you have the financial means. And like you said, exactly. When it comes to indie projects, it should not be $700,000 per movie. It should be $7 per movie. And if the scene calls, you're going to be filming in Paris. You find this, alleyway behind the Publix, and so that's Paris, France. Or you green screen it. But yeah, that's the thing. It's lost its novelty, for a better term. I don't want to use that term, but
come up with a different name for it. Maybe you guys have some ideas, but we need to maybe it might make sense to just rebrand it and call it something else, but I can't figure out a better word than indie.
Bottom of the barrel.
Underground.
Yeah.
I would say though, what you guys are talking about with social media, there is an obsession with social media. You guys should be building email lists. An email list is traffic when you want. It is yours. You can take it anywhere you want. You can communicate one-on-one with your followers every day, 5 times a day if you want. And every time you send a message,
my email list.
Every time you send a message, it's in their inbox. Okay. They may not read. They're not going to read them all. Of course not. They're going to read some of them, but that's fine. It's at least it's like owning a home or renting a home. Your email is your property. It's like having a website or having a Facebook page. Well, Facebook can turn your page off anytime they want. But your website is yours. Okay. Sure, you may have
to want to give you the email address, and that's the trick here.
Yeah,
you used to be able to buy these lists, but these lists are worthless now.
Yeah,
no, but people will love. There are many ways to make people want to give you their emails. Okay, it's a question of what you give in return. Give them something really cool for that email, and then make your emails really good. Make your emails really good. Put as much effort into your emails as you do into other things you create, and people will flock to your email list, and they'll enjoy them.
When I sign up on email lists, I mostly give them a bogus email that I never even search or look at. So I wonder how many people do that. I know I do that.
You're a marketing guy. I do the same thing too. I don't want all that crap. But most people, I think, give their real email address.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are ways to try to. You can clean email lists, and you can make sure that there's ways there are tools and systems to make that process better. And it really doesn't matter, because if somebody gets on your email and they're not reading it, then you just kick them off your list, and you just keep getting new people on your list.
Or you make a post and you scream, "If you're not a true fan, get off my email list now!" Like somebody else would work.
Well, Chuck, I gotta let you guys know, I found a gold mine. I accidentally, well, I didn't accidentally, but I went
You
into
started
Jake, we told people we wouldn't tell people, okay? I mean, come on,
Oh,
that was a
man,
straight.
Christian.
I went into my medicine cabinet, opened up the glory, and I'm assuming Amazon says this is at least worth $1,000.
Oh man!
So I'm
funny campaign right there.
Wait a minute, that's kind of cool. What's going on
That
with my
is a
screen?
green
Look at
screen,
that.
right?
I can see.
Yeah, there's something there. That's
I
kinda-
like it.
That's gold right there.
Oh, because the stuff screen. That's why. I gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this is funding the
magic.
next
Sell it that way, man. Magic.
Traveling TARDIS project.
That's why it's worth $1,000 a bottle, right? I mean, the one I have doesn't do anything cool. It just kind of sits there.
So how do we get people to engage more with our posts to try to get organic engagement up? So I know Jake, you've seen some of my stupid Facebook posts. I'll post like a dumb joke.
Yes.
And I'll get like 100 and some comments, some angry, some not. But then it keeps like 2 weeks later, I'm still getting comments, so they're still showing it.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to, and those are the ones that you need comments. There's comments, likes, and I think shares. I'm not sure what the order is. I believe it is shares and then comments and then likes. But I'm sure they're tweaking that all the time too.
They're constantly changing that.
Yeah.
And I
Another big engagement is how long they watch the videos you post.
Yeah.
So how many seconds they're watching.
Yeah.
Do they stop scrolling? Yeah.
Like Facebook's now 3-minute long videos, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust Facebook for the same life. Even if you get a subscriber to your Facebook page, how do you know that's really a subscriber?
It's a bot.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, are they padding the numbers so that they can make sense? Because I'm like, you would
it makes no difference right now. Really, the number of followers is irrelevant now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I think it matters in the algorithm because if you have low engagement and a high follower number, I think that brings you down a little because that's hurt a couple of my projects. Back in the day, 3-4 years ago, when it was a big thing to buy followers, I bought a shit ton of followers on a couple of my projects.
Now
they did really well for a while, and then all of a sudden the engagement was down and they kind of fell off. So I have these accounts with 10,000 followers and no engagement. And no one's paying attention to it.
Now, what are some of you guys doing for like your local markets? Like, are you getting any advertising dollars from, let's just say, like your downtown Orlando businesses or any nearby towns?
We can get shit for indie originals, man.
I know we got one.
No,
not even $10 for that. But then Bolka's got like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, Bolka's did really well because it was you had a product that everybody understood. They were going to see their ad on a movie screen.
Yeah,
they understood that, but they didn't understand what we were doing. We didn't really understand it the first year. I wouldn't have invested the first year. It would have been nice to have some of the people who did, like the big guys, like CD Baby and Full Sail University. All these people say, yeah, we'll support you. We'll come out and do that. And then we come out, hey, we need the money. And like, oh yeah, we don't have a budget for it this year. You know what I mean? The relevant people who understood exactly what we were doing, they failed us in the last minute.
Yeah.
That's
hey guys, I don't mean to cut you off there, but we do have people who've been typing in. I wanted to see if we can go ahead and respond to them. Jen Hogan's been all there. CyberCon says hi, and they're going to be next weekend. Can't wait for that one as well.
CyberCon!
CyberCon. Jen Hogan says that's better. How do we know if they're reading it or not? So Jen, yes, we're reading it. I don't know if you can see the post when they come up over there, but there you go.
Hi, Jen.
Terry says Jen and I are working on an email for Kitchen Killers. I think it's helping open doors. How about you, Jen? And Jen says it does open doors for a business, but not sure how about fans. So what do you guys say on that one for our folks who are there?
Emails? Is it email she's talking about?
I don't specify. Jen, can you give us a specification? Can you type in a message what you're specifying there? I'm assuming it's for the emails.
Man, I totally agree. I think that emails are the way to go. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, once they give you your email, it becomes super fan.
Yeah. We're trying to we got on that boat late. I didn't think they were as important. I failed in that respect a couple of years ago, but we started collecting once we figured out they were as important as they are.
Okay. I mean, how do we know if people are reading an email, are reading our emails or not? That's Jen.
They have something called, there's like tracking systems where they actually put like an invisible, is it a GIF in there or some kind of image?
Yeah, well, there's pixels, there's all sorts of different ways of measuring that. But I would say, if people are actually doing what you're asking them to do in the email, then they're reading them.
Right.
Your emails need to be fun, they need to be engaging, and they need to have a call to action.
Yeah.
You want your people to do stuff. So if you tell them, buy this, or you tell them read this, or you tell them go to Amazon and leave me a review, or do whatever it is you want to do, and they do it, then they're engaging and they're reading them. You really want people to want to read your emails. Okay, that's how good they need to be.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Something to get people's attention too, to engage in them and allow them to draw their attention and keep them engaged.
You do that with
Sure.
the subject line, or you do that with a picture? I mean, there's a lot of
subject line is really important. The copy, the text that you write, it's what you have to say, and if it and people pick up if it's you, especially if you're you want it to have your voice, and you want your voice to come through, your personality, who you are. Because people will connect with you. They will feel who you are, and authenticity, it works. People feel it. They know it. They can't. You can't fake it. You can't bullshit people. If you bullshit people, they will know, and they will ignore you.
Yeah.
I got a question. So when does your product, when it comes to social media posting, where is the fine line so that people don't think you are spamming?
Has to be relevant. There has to be relevance while you're posting it. From a comic book point of view, I'll have to disagree with Dennis. Branding is very important. You have to have a brand. You have to be known for what you do. If you're not known for what you do, you might as well give up and go home. Because by knowing what you do, by being a brand, you get promoted into different groups. People talk about you. They spread who you are. You yourself, I mean, look at the banners behind me. That is branding. There's no way you don't go to, and even you, a Christian, but you being a traveling artist, that's a brand that you have taken international. If you don't have a brand and brand recognition, you don't go to a Comic-Con and get noticed. You're the person on your phone texting all day because no one paid attention to you. I can't tell you how many different cons I go to where people come up to me right away and know the branding behind me and go, I've seen that. I know who you are. So you have to be relevant. If you keep putting out the same message, like people with Kickstarters blow my mind, because they do the same message for 30 days and wonder why no one's engaged them for 30 days, not realizing that the Facebook bots have noticed it. So now you're spamming. So now you're being taken down. It's the same message every day. Yeah. You have to not put a URL in the message. You can't put Kickstarter in your message. You can't say crowdfunding in your message. In your top thing, it cannot mention any of that. And you can't sound like you're pandering. So you have to talk about your product. You have to introduce new characters. You have to show new art. You have to engage your audience. You have to excite them to make them want to hit share and want to comment on it. Every time they comment, to what Chuck was saying, when they're commenting, that is something good. The problem with being viral or trying to cause debate is now Facebook looks for negative responses. When people begin to fight in a conversation, you wind up having that conversation begin to be hidden. You guys ever notice that you've been in the middle of an argument with someone and suddenly you don't get at all any response?
No, mine
and
get
then you
more
just
popular.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is new. This is what's been happening lately. You go back and you look at it, and there's 35 comments. You're not being shown the updates because they don't want you fighting anymore. They're trying to break us up. And if you notice, what they're trying to make us do is go into groups. That's to separate us. If they're separating us and not keeping us together, we'll argue less and there'll be less feedback that's negative. Because they want a positive experience for everyone. And the way they find they do that is to create echo chambers. That's why they're pushing groups right now. They want us all to play in our own play box so we don't fight with each other. Because their Facebook acts a little bit like mommy and daddy, and they just don't want to hear it. They don't care who's right. Shut up or I'll turn the car around. That's Facebook's new motto. So your message also has to be positive now on Facebook for it to rise and for it to be shared. I think you'll see less and less viral complaining go away, but that doesn't mean email lists don't work. But you can't send 5 a day, or you could wind up getting breaking spam laws. So that's a new thing too. You have to watch about breaking spam laws and them coming for you for spam laws, because those are new and they're only getting more intense constantly.
You have to make it very easy for your audience to unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hide that. As long as people voluntarily get on your email list. You can mail them as often as you want. As often as makes sense for your market and for what you have to say. Don't send them boring messages just to keep pounding them. But if your emails are different, they're fun and they're engaging and they're what your audience wants to hear, then you can mail as often as you want. But you do need to, you do need to make it very easy for people to leave, and you shouldn't get upset. I mean, when people leave, that's great. They weren't going to buy from you anyway.
But remember, they can also mark your stuff as spam. So you have to be careful about that too, because that grade matters. There are many creators who wind up in a spam folder because they've sent out too much stuff and someone's gotten aggravated. Instead of hitting unsubscribe, they said, oh, I see this guy too much. I'm just going to put him in my spam folder. I'm just going to put him in my spam folder. And then suddenly that's a problem for you.
True.
Because now your email list is going to everyone's spam folder. So there are things to be careful of.
Let me interject this because there's been a lot of chatter in the chit chat thing. 7 years ago when I started this, I had to literally beg people to take pictures with the TARDIS. 7 years later, going on 8, now I walk into a convention, somebody sees me, there's not even a hi. It's Christian, where's your TARDIS? I want to take a picture. I mean, it's the product, if itself is something that people deem worthy of it, yes, they will pursue it and look at it. But let me go ahead and get into the chat. Graham Cross says, Google Analytics. He asked that question. Jen Hogan, our good friend from the Kitchen Killers. What about Patreon? Terry McLeod, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm going to say Terry. I've seen some really good shows get 10 viewers, while someone sitting in front of their camera without even talking has 14 plus viewers. And then Jen says, yes, I have been in Facebook jail many times by sharing posts. And Jen, I can attest to Facebook jail. The food is horrible.
Also, the whatever Facebook uses to count users doesn't always work. There's something, especially lately, wrong with it. I've been on Brian K. Morris's show and he gets a strong audience. There's a guy who gets it, and he'll be on, I think, the program today, later on in the novel section. He gets 15 to 20 people every show he does sitting there. He is one of the few people I've seen have a steady line. Lately, it's showing 2 viewers, and you see 7 to 10 people commenting constantly. So I don't know if the views are actually being watched right, but to answer the question, if it's working, that's just good marketing. That's someone who's got a fan base. I mean, you look at even Van Skyber, who's on doing Cyberfrog right now, and I know he's controversial. Yeah, I know, but he's also got 4,000 people backing his comic book. We don't see that. And then everyone's so impressed with that. And then the next day, like a week later, Todd McFarlane comes out, and we're like, Ethan Van who? Look at what Todd McFarlane did, $1 million for an action figure. Oh, my God. And that's on Kickstarter. So there's money out there, and it's all about the fan base that you can excite. You got to tickle them to get them excited. And how are you tickling them? And that was the clean version of the tickle joke. But Patreon, I don't know. I've heard Patreon doesn't work. Any of you guys have a different feeling for that?
I think if you've already got an established base, I think it'll work for you. But if you're just starting out, you're going to be.
I think if you're a hot chick, it works.
Yeah, that is.
I'm not. I wish I were.
I know. You know, I'm a hairy dude.
I went to a surgeon. They said, "Don't try."
We're going to hire a couple and try it out. Actually, as part of our. We'll tell you how that went next year.
I've seen people that run from YouTube channels to Patreon, and they're able to grow because they grow their YouTube channel with free content, and then they incentivize people to come to Patreon. Not necessarily in the comic book industry. I don't really know that much about it, but I've seen that work, and they're able to generate reasonable levels of income through Patreon. So it can be done, but I think you need to really think about the funnel and how you're attracting users first to get them into your fan base. And then, the core people that, really believe in what you have to do, then yeah, maybe they'll give you some money through Patreon.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we have already used up this hour really quickly. Dennis, pardon me. It's really good to see you again, bud. And
yeah, man, I'm glad to see you. You look great.
Well, you do too. I appreciate you joining us. You stay safe. You're still over in Spain, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm under severe lockdown in sunny Mediterranean Spain.
Well, we're still on lockdown here in Texas as well, bud, so you ain't missing nothing back at home. I know we got one of your friends coming tomorrow, I think, or maybe it's later today. I forget. I got to look.
Yeah.
There's so many people. But tell Tony I said, hey, really appreciate it. Dennis, is there any plugs that you want to give, any websites or anything that you want to?
Yeah, if people want to come to greenlight.digital, they can find us there, greenlight.digital. And yeah, there's my Twitter handle there, or you can find me on LinkedIn. It's probably the best place. You can find me with Dennis H. Lewis there. So I'm easy to find. Look for the guy with the funky wallpaper.
Well, thanks so much, Dennis. And
thank you. Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun. Hey, thanks guys for being on there.
Take care. All right, let me bring Jake back in. I just kind of rudely just threw him out of the room a while ago.
Thank you for tuning in to our Small Business and Marketing panel with special guest Dennis H. Lewis of Greenlight Digital. For storytelling that sells and effective marketing, visit greenlight.digital. But wait, we've got more panels and special guests from our 2-day live streaming event. Be sure to subscribe to the Geek Insider podcast, available on iTunes, Spotify, and we're available now on iHeartRadio. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, you might have to turn in your Geek card.